Hi guys, today is Vlogmas 21st and I opened my last mask. Okay, I got a self-heating mud mask. So that's that. That's all of these. And I'm gonna use all of these when I take a bath or shower. And then um 21st was 21st, oh yeah. Ooh, snowman. The second would be in the top tomorrow. Okay. What am I doing on this vlogmas today? Trying to think, guys. You want to do a reaction video on this or not? Why not? Let's do that TikTok video that gave clues about kidnapped Sophia 18 years later.
We're talking about the second assault of kids.
What did the video show?
Middletown.
Under the age of 18 is taken away against their will, their risk of dying jumps by 74% if they aren't found in the first 3 hours of their disappearance. Sophia Juarez disappeared in 2003, and her family never gave up hope that one day
He never still found.
Power of social media, that
Almost
dream may
like
become a reality after
13 years old that
a woman
happened.
on TikTok might just
I didn't
be
see the
missing girl.
news
But
about it.
is there even a chance at all that Sophia is even alive? Let's dive in. Sophia Lorenzo Juarez was born on February 5th, 1998, to her parents Maria Juarez and Andres Gutierrez Abraham in California. Maria was pretty young when she had Sophia and had no support from Andres. He refused to believe he was Sophia's dad. As a result, he was never involved in her life, and Maria was left to raise Sophia by herself. A couple of years later, Maria made the bold decision to move from California to Kennewick, Washington, where her mom, Ignacia Prado Juarez, lived. She and Sophia moved across the country to Ignacia's house, where Sophia was surrounded by more relatives her age. A short time later, Sophia became the big sister to a little brother, who she totally adored and played with all the time. Although the house was crowded, the family was super close, and they all loved each other very much. But then, on February 4th, 2003, the day before Sophia's birthday, tragedy struck. That evening, at around 8 p.m., Sophia was playing in her room when she heard her grandma's boyfriend, Jose, in the next room say he was going to the store and ask if anybody wanted to go with him. Sophia loved being out and about, so she asked her mom if she could go with him. Maria said yes, and gave Sophia $1 to spend at the store, before helping her tie her sneakers and sending her on her way. However, nobody had told Jose that Sophia wanted to go with him, so when she ran out to the driveway to get into his car, she saw that he'd already left. It's then believed that she started walking to the store by herself, intending to meet Jose there, since it was only 5 blocks away. But after Sophia left the house that night, she never came home. There were reported sightings of her walking in the direction of the store. A couple of people noticed her on the street because they thought it was strange that someone Sophia's age was out walking by herself at that time of night. No one at home realized anything was wrong until Jose returned from the store without Sophia. When they realized there'd been a miscommunication and Sophia was still out by herself, the family was horrified and started searching for her immediately. immediately. Maria called the police, who sped down to the house within 3 minutes of the phone call. And one of the most intense investigations in Washington's history began. They started by conducting door-to-door searches in the neighborhood, just to see if a neighbor saw Sophia walking around by herself and took her inside to protect her. However, even though the searches went on long into the night, they came up with nothing. For the first time in Washington's history, the police issued an Amber Alert for Sophia. Amber Alerts are emergency messages issued when a law enforcement agency determines that someone under 18 has been unlawfully taken and is in imminent danger. The authorities used every available resource to try and track down Sophia, even involving the FBI. Scent dogs were used to try and figure out which route she took, as well as a thermal imaging and night vision cameras. On February 11th, a candlelit vigil was held for Sophia. Over 300 people attended, all of whom walked from Sophia's home to St. Joseph's Church. For days, over 500 police officers, FBI agents, and volunteers searched buildings and vehicles for the girl. Despite their efforts, very little indicated where Sophia was or what happened to her that night. What they did have was a decent number of alleged sightings, the last piece of hope they had of finding Sophia. The first sighting came from one of her young relatives, who claims he saw Sophia walking down the driveway with a strange man wearing all black clothing. However, due to the boy's age, the claim was considered unreliable. In May 2003, reported that they were looking for a vehicle and its driver, who was in the area at the time Sophia vanished. They made a point to state that this person wasn't necessarily involved in her disappearance. They just wanted to follow up and see if he'd seen anything suspicious. The vehicle in question was a mid-90s model full-size faded orange van with a license plate that had a double J in the number. The van's driver was a Caucasian male with a thick blonde beard, between 35 and 40 years old. The police strongly believe this was a case of abduction that was perpetrated by someone outside Sophia's family. Jose was ruled out as a suspect after an investigation from the police. A theory was that he had taken Sophia with him to the store after all, but during their outing, he'd done something to her. They also investigated Sophia's father, Andreas. He was cooperative and told the police he didn't even know Sophia was missing and that he'd never met her. He supplied them with a verifiable alibi and was ruled out of the case. Of course, there is a theory that Sophia never left the house that night. Although there were supposed sightings of her walking the streets, these have never been confirmed, so no one can say for sure that they saw her outside that night. The theory is that something happened to Sophia inside the house that cost her her life, whether it was an accident or intentional, and the family chose to cover it up. In my opinion, this is very far-fetched. For one, there has never been any evidence that indicates Sophia died in the house. Cadaver dogs were brought onto the scene as part of the initial investigation, and they never alerted to anything in the house. Plus, everyone knew that her family adored her. What are the odds they could convince every person in that household to keep their mouth shut? With no solid evidence or leads, the case began to go cold. Sophia's face disappeared from the front of the newspapers, and her case just became another unsolved urban legend. Almost 6 years later, the family was struck with more tragedy when Maria suddenly
It's here. Black Friday at Kohl's starts now. Earn more Kohl's cash with $15 for every $50 you spend.
passed away. She'd recently moved to Sacramento, California with her boyfriend after giving birth to a son. Reportedly, although she hoped one day her daughter would come home to her, she wanted a fresh start in life. However, not long after the move, Maria was hospitalized with medical complications from the birth of her son and passed away in January 2009. She hadn't even turned 30 yet. Maria was cremated and her ashes were taken back to Washington, where her family transported them from her house to St. Joseph's Church, walking the same route they had during Sophia's vigil. Maria's brother Juan said in an interview that the family was heartbroken that Maria didn't get to see her daughter again before she passed. She passed away not knowing whatever happened to her daughter. And I mean, that's very tough for us, letting her go without seeing her daughter one more time. And that brings us to 2021, when suddenly there was a lot of buzz around this case again. It's been 18 years since Sophia vanished, when a new witness came forward with a potential sighting from the night she vanished. The witness claims they saw Sophia walking nearby the store and that she was being pulled away by a man. The witness says Sophia was crying as she was led away. They gave a detailed description of the man to the police, who chose not to release the details to the public yet. And then there was the video. On March 15th, 2021, TikTok user @akayala posted an interview he did with a young woman living in Culiacan, Mexico. According to the woman in the video, she is 22 years old and that she'd been taken from her family years ago. She said if any of her family members are watching, she over 200,000 views and almost 2,000 comments of users speculating whether or not this woman could be Sophia. Many say that they think she looks just like Sophia, and while there are definitely similarities, the woman doesn't really look like the age progression image that has been generated of Sophia. Some think she looks more like Sophia than the generated image, and their ages almost match up, as Sophia would have turned 23 in February 2021. Another way to identify her were by some of Sophia's distinguishing features. Sophia was known to have a small mole under her right eye and a birthmark on her back. Since the TikTok is pretty low quality, it's hard to tell if the woman has a mole on her face, and we never see her back. However, it's worth noting that Sophia's capturers could have removed her mole to lessen the chances of her being identified. Many people reported the video to authorities in Washington, eager for them to look into this lead if there was any possibility this could be Sophia. The authorities reached out to the man who conducted the interview to see if he had any more information on the woman.
Traveled to that city multiple times now, trying to recontact her. He has interviewed people in the city, in that same area, who have said that she does frequent that area.
As of May 2021, the authorities are still trying to locate the woman. They agree that there are definite similarities between her and Sophia. They're hoping to obtain a DNA sample to see if it really could be her. However, reportedly, relatives of the woman have come forward and told the police that the woman is not Sophia Juarez. Only time will tell what the truth is, and whatever the outcome, I hope Sophia's family gets the support they deserve during this time. That brings us to the end of today's video. What do you think of this case? Do you think
I will see you guys in my second video, so I see you then.